will be the last speaker tonight.
My name is Carrie Draco, 6 Yappley Avenue. I did not talk to my brother beforehand, but he did steal my opening line. I am 24 years old. I am probably the next generation of buying a house, as my parents do hope one day I'll move out along with them. Their fingers crossed, they tell me all the time. One of the number one things I look at for, I grew up in a family where I am educated in emergency services, obviously. I looked at there's a fire department. I looked at there is an EMS that is based in my town. Because when you have children, when you are growing up, you want to make sure someone is in your town. Like you said, I was during Hurricane Irene, when we watched those floodwaters come up through the EMS building, I watched those EMTs run to that building, drove those ambulances, parked them right across from the fire department in the dental, and they responded to their calls, and they sat there. And there wasn't one, there wasn't just two, I'm almost sure there was 3 ambulances sitting there and waiting. I would be so surprised, if 100% surprised, if there would be 3 Robert Wood Johnson ambulances sitting in a town if we have an Irene, a Sandy, and we all know they are going to be more often. They said there's a shift, the hurricanes are going to come to this town. That's just the first thing. The second thing is it wasn't discussed, I might be a little ignorant about this, for dispatching. Currently, I call 911. It goes to this dispatching here. Our dispatchers dispatch Spotswood EMS and the police. How is Robert Wood going to be dispatched? Do our dispatchers then have to call Robert Wood, and then Robert Wood has to dispatch an ambulance?
Is Chief still here?
I am.
Chief, I know you were talking about more the dispatch area. If you could answer that question.
Go ahead again.
Right now, dispatch sits in our office. So if we call 911, our lovely dispatchers answer. They dispatch the police and the EMS. With Robert Wood Johnson, what would be the step? Would we have another step that you guys would then have to dispatch Robert
On a
Wood?
911 call,
Yes.
that could get linked TOT'd immediately, push button to another agency. And we can hear that call, we do it all the time.
Okay.
We get cell phone calls, depending on where the tower comes in. It could be in Monroe, it could be in Saraville, it could be in Old Bridge, happens all the time. That call comes in, we just one touch button, we can link that call. We'll hear Monroe pick up. We tell that operator in Monroe, this is 911 operator in Spotswood, we have a call on you, it's in your jurisdiction. So that could, with the technology, that KML system, that can be linked that way on 911.
Thank you, Chief. And the third one is, Mr. Solon, I think you posed a question to Frank. You asked him what is a major quantitative difference.
Something you could measure.
What are the names on their badges? What town does it say? Spotswood. The Robert Johnson is going to have Robert Johnson. Who has the ultimate control? You guys in our township and whoever is going to be councils for years and years, if we still have our EMS, you have what the said. You have control over them, over their qualifications, over how many years of service they need to even qualify as an EMT. Well, if Robert Wood Johnson's name is on those EMTs, they have the ultimate control. So what do you lose? You lose control. And that's a very important thing and a very scary thing to lose control of in a town. That's all I have to say. Hope you have a lovely day at work tomorrow. I'm sure it's going to be fun for everybody.
Thank you. Entertain a motion to close public portion. Leo made a motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. We take a beating up here. We do appreciate your passion. But when we come to the door, we don't check our judgment. When we're elected, we run for office, we put our qualifications out there. What have you done in business? What have you done in your personal life that gives us a reason to trust in your values and your judgment? And when we come to the door, I don't check that. And on an election brochure, I can't say, vote for me, and I promise I'll check my judgment at the door and vote for the largest crowd that's in the room. I am voting for this by the information that we've gathered over an exhaustive search. We've been studying this since we had a closed session in January of 2015, and we've been working on it since. And I think of the seniors and the young people. Frank Lasacco was council president here, and his son had an injury in his leg and had to call EMS, and I know how thankful he was for that. But when we look at everything that was presented to us and things we can't present to you, I can tell you that I'm confident in the way I feel we have to vote. I appreciate the passion, I appreciate the people that are here, but I can't check my judgment at the door. I have to look at what I've looked at and what I know and make the best judgment for our most vulnerable, our seniors and our youth. Someday, Frank, it could be you, it could be one of us on the dais, is going to need EMS. And when you're laying on the floor and you need EMS, it's not going to matter. You're not even going to know what rig is, if it says Spotswood on it or not. It's not going to matter what badge they have. It's how they're coming in, and they're coming in fast, and they're coming in. There's other people around, so that if you're the second call, we'll still have another rig there for you. There's quantitative things that we have in here that we use positive and negatives. And that's how we made the decision. And I'm sorry I don't have your respect. I don't expect to get your opinion swayed my way when you're all emergency services people.
No,
I
we're
know we're going
not.
to be in
No,
that.
we're not.
Okay, the people that I'm talking about. But we are doing our best with volunteers. We have your best interest in mind. We have no other vested interest in this. Let the people vote for it. Well, you're not listening, so I'm finished. Thank you. Anybody else want to speak?
You're not listening.
What?
How much fun is getting paid behind closed doors?
Okay, a lot of you in this room know me. My name's Ed Seeley. If you haven't, I've probably coached one of your kids or whatnot. And I gotta say, it's a good thing, in my opinion, that most of the pros that I heard tonight outweighed the sarcastic comments that came along with them, but you have to have thick skin to sit up here. I made a little presentation I was going to read to you. I've cut it down to 2 paragraphs because I don't think the 3rd paragraph is fitting for this. If you'll bear with me, I just want to read it to you. Good evening. I've been a councilman for over 12 years. I appreciate and acknowledge your concerns, fears, opinions over this delicate yet very important issue. This has been a very lengthy process with gathering facts and information. Let me assure you, I'm not taking this lightly, as I am also a taxpayer and a resident of this community. And I know anyone who knows me knows that I care about this community and its residents. Now, like my constituents, I've also went out a little further and talked to people that have actually been in this seat. Let's see about what do they think? And the best advice I got was from a guy who sat in this very seat. And he had said to me that, I'll give you one piece of advice, Ed. You got to do what you believe is right. And if it's not, take the consequences that come with it. I will honestly tell you, and I'm being honest, 17th a little ways off. You give me something to think about. I'm not promising anybody a change, but you've given me something to think about. And that's where I'll leave it at.
Leo, you want to say anything? Okay. Mr. Mayor, you want to say anything?
No, I just basically want to thank all the residents for coming out tonight. I know it's been a long night. You definitely voiced your concerns. It's nice to see that happen at a council meeting, where we are used to just 5 or 6 people here. So it's great to see the town so ramped up over a service that's extremely vital and to have your voices heard. So thank you, and I look forward to seeing you in a month.
Okay, motion to close the meeting?
Motion to close the meeting. Motion adjourned. Aye.